The enemies of God's people has always been the devil and his biological offspring, and this has been the case going all the way back to Cain, who murdered Abel and was of the wicked one. So when John the Baptist and Jesus speak of the tree that does not bear good fruit and was not planted by our Heavenly Father, they're speaking about the tree in Eden that Eve ate from, which produced Cain. Many of the Pharisees and Sadducees are called serpents because they too, just like Cain, descend from the serpent of old, the devil. This is confirmed by Josephus, who tells us that not all the Pharisees and Sadducees were Israelites. The Hebrew word to describe these demon hybrids is Nephilim, which means to fall because they descend from the fallen angels. And contrary to popular belief, the Nephilims were not all wiped out by the flood, because we see them reappear in the book of Numbers, living in the land of Canaan. There were so many Nephilims in Canaan that the land given to Manasseh was originally called the land of giants. Now, God told Joshua to eliminate all the Canaanites, but he failed, and some of the Nephilims took refuge in the city of Gath, and out of the city of Gath came Nephilims like Goliath and the six-fingered giant that Jonathan slew. We also find evidence of Nephilims outside of the Bible, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, which states that Gilgamesh's mother was a goddess, but his father was a man, and when we look at carvings depicting him, he's so large that he could hold an adult lion in his arm like a kitten. And in the inscriptions of the king of Ur, which is where Abraham came from, we see him claim to have the same mother as Gilgamesh. Homer mentions in the Odyssey the existence of man-eaten giants that were the size of a mountain and could catch men with their giant spears, the same way a man catches a fish with a spear. Furthermore, the chief deity of Babylon, Marduk, who Nebuchadnezzar II calls the Exalted One, is depicted on the gates of Babylon as a dragon, which is a symbol of Satan. And when Babylon, once famous for their extensive canals and hanging gardens, was turned into nothing more than a barren desert, all that was left, according to Jeremiah, were the dragons, which is another way of saying devils. The fall of Babylon is compared by Isaiah to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and according to Jude, God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of fornication, because the people were trying to mix with angels that came down from heaven. And according to the book of Jubilees, fornication is what created the Nephilims. So when we read about how Jezebel seduced the servants of God to fornication, that is because she descends from the Nephilims of Canaan. This explains why Elisha chose to love his enemy by sparing the pagan Armenian army who had come to invade Israel. He did that because the Armenians had pure Adamic DNA. However, the reason that Elisha chose not to spare Joram, the king of Israel, but sent Jehu to go and slay him is because Joram's mother was Jezebel, making him a Nephilim. Another man that married a Canaanite was Esau. This is why the book of Hebrews calls him a fornicator. Yahweh commanded King Saul to destroy the Nephilim descendants of Esau, known as Amalek, but just like Joshua, he failed, and because of that, the enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent lives on between the pure Adamic Israelites and the children of fornication, aka Amalek. And this enmity is perfectly summed up by Moses, who said that there would be war with Amalek from generation to generation.